guys, how's it going? Today we're going to be doing a bunch of annual planting, starting with the 4 containers in front of our barn. I'm hoping to make it to our back shade porch containers and then possibly some in-ground planting depending on what the weather's going to do. We might get some rain and wind. We'll see. In fact, when we're planting annuals, temperature is something to consider. We actually have one night on the forecast next week that's supposed to be 33 degrees. Most of the annuals we are planting out will be okay, but there are a few like caladiums. I'm going to be putting some caladiums in pots today that do not like cold temperatures, so we will be tenting those on that night. So you just want to kind of keep an eye on the forecast those first couple of weeks. I know a lot of you guys have had really cold springs. This has been one of the coldest ones that we've ever had on record. Lots of moisture, lots of cool nights. I like it. It's pretty nice that it's not 100 degrees yet. Let me show you what these boxwoods look like. We put these in these containers, I think it was last spring. The variety is Green Mountain. And they are so awesome. The Green Mountain don't tend to bronze like some of the other varieties. You know how the boxwoods get kind of that bronze coloring? These stay just nice and green, and I appreciate that so much. And you can tell that they like their location because of all this new growth that they've put on. So we are going to be giving them a light trim. Some years, even this early in this season, it can be a little bit too late to prune boxwoods here because it warms up so quick. Typically, but because we have such cool temps on the forecast, I'm going to go ahead and trim them today. I think we should be all right. And then these are the plants. I'm so excited because last year I put some pretty things in these pots. I think the Supertunia Priscilla improved. There was a Cake Pops purple verbena and a sweet potato vine. They were all very light colors, and I just really didn't think about it up against the white barn, and light colors just kind of wash out a little bit. And while the plants did great, beautiful flowers, you just really couldn't see them. They didn't really show up. So I think this year we aren't going to have that problem. First off, in the front of the pot, we're going to be putting the Sweet Caroline Sweetheart Lime sweet potato vine. This is one of my favorite sweet potato vines that's out there. I think because I like the clean structure of the leaf. You know, a lot of sweet potato vines have like a lot of, is it serration or like deeply lobed? I really like the clean structure of this plant. They also grow a little bit more tidy. They don't tend to, you know, string out all over the place. So I like that. And I like the cooling color they bring to every arrangement. Now the next one, this is a new one, I think this year, Supertunia Vista Jazzberry. I've seen questions as to whether or not this holds up as a Vista Supertunia to the other ones that are out there. We did have a chance to grow it last year, but I haven't had a chance to really test it in a lot of different locations, but it did really well for us, and I really like the color. I like that super, super vibrant pink. It's a very cool tone, which I prefer. So yeah, this is just a really exciting plant. And then we're gonna pair it along with the Supertunia Mini Vista Indigo. Isn't that so pretty together? I just think they contrast each other beautifully. I think they will match each other vigor-wise. So I plan to put, maybe it's an overreaction, but I plan to put 3 of these, and 1 of these in each one of these pots. And then these pots are 24-inch diameter right here. They clearly already have soil in them, so I'm going to be putting a little Biotone starter fertilizer in the soil, which is what I have in that bucket. I tore open the bag weird the other day, so I just had to dump it in a bucket. So we'll be doing that after we trim them. So let's get started. guys, all done. I love how they turned out. I think that this combination is going to be really nice up against this barn. So the boxwoods, first of all, took after those, did a light trim. They don't look quite as woolly, so that always is kind of a nice fresh, it's like a spring cleaning thing. And I'm still kind of in a shaping phase with these, especially the last one. The one on the end is the hardest one for me to shape because the back part of it wasn't quite as developed. So I'm gonna have to wait for some sections to fill in, which, you know, topiaries, shaped evergreens like that, you just have that sometimes. Also on this one, actually all of them, I think, I started to carve in another kind of curve. I don't know what to call it. So before, this one came up to about here, and then it just turned into like a big point at the top. And then I felt like there was enough room to kind of continue on the curve and have a little bit more definition in here. Of course, with those huge hedge trimmers, it's really like, it's a scary thing to do because I was afraid I was going to lop it off. So I'm going to have to come in here probably with Felcos and do a little bit of finish work. You know, little pruners that I can get in there and just go slow, take my time, because you do not want to mess up your topiary. It takes so long for them to rebound. It's better to go slow, make small cuts, and then do the transformation process if you're nervous about it over time, rather than trying to get it perfect the first time. And then with the plants down below, I only ended up using 4 of the Supertunias versus 6 like I was going to originally do. So right front and center, we've got the sweet potato vine. So that will come fill in this area here. And then as I was placing in the first container the 6 Supertunias, I just thought, oh, these are all Vistas. These plants get massive. And really, like 2 of the pots are backed right up to the barn. You don't really see the backside so much. So I decided just to put one of each color on either side. So Mini Vista Indigo here, the Jazzberry here, Jazzberry up here, Indigo on the back. So we should have a really nice blend of color. They'll have room to grow and fill in. I think it will be really nice. Let's head down to the others. Oh, it just looks so good to have some fresh plants and a fresh haircut here. Yeah, this one. First of all, I feel like it could be tipped in the pot a little bit. It kind of goes forward, but I think it has kind of that appearance because it is straight, because this section right here needs to fill in. So that's the one that was a little bit tricky for me to trim. There's also like a hole right here. Oh, my word, the wind. Oh, and this piece is kind of loose. So there was a hole right in here. Anyway, it's just gonna take a little bit of time, and that's okay. The wind keeps coming and going today, but the overcast is nice. So I think at this point I'm gonna gather up some plants. We'll go to the back shade porch. We've got 2 small urns back there and some really pretty shade plants to plant in those. Okay, so these are the 2 pots right here, these 2 dark brown urns. They fit really nicely back here, even though we hardly ever use this entrance, but it is kind of right along our main walking path to our back door. I mean, this is the path we take all the time. And as many of you know, we've recently had this area trenched. We had the sidewalk removed. We're going to be having bricks installed like we did on the west side, on both sides of the driveway and up front in the front of our house. But they had to trench right down this lane to get electricity and gas out to the Hartley. It was the path of least resistance, actually. We kind of went through different options and thought, well, we know we want to have this walkway widened at some point and kind of change the entryway, so we may as well do it all in one fell swoop, right? So anyway, we've got a nice dirt floor going on here, but very pretty plants all the way around it. I mean, look at this area. Look at all the daffodils back in here. It's starting to sprinkle a bit. Kind of nice that we're under the maple tree. You can see the white bleeding heart right above the autumn frost hosta. This is one of my favorite combinations ever. I think there's something so magical about it. Autumn frost hostas are just awesome. They look like this all season long, and these just bring some magic to the area. Oh, I love it. Anyway, if we go this way, you can kind of see what we're dealing with. We will give you a tour of this whole area and kind of explain our thought process as to what's going to happen next here very soon. But what we're working with in this area are kind of shade tolerant or shade loving plants, because this area, while it does get a little bit of morning sun, it's shaded most of the day from this huge Norway maple that's right above us. It's a glorious tree and I love it, but we've got some beautiful things here. So this is a Caladium called Clowning Around, right? Yes, there's so many beautiful Caladiums out there. I love the colors here. There's a lot of Caladiums that have a ton of red, like red is the primary color, but this one has, it looks more pink to me with the red veining and then the green margin there. Here's Russell. Anyway, I think we're gonna pop a couple of these in each one of the urns as our centerpiece plant. And there's Cheddar, my goodness. It's like a cat parade out here today. Right here, we've got Diamond Frost Euphorbia, which the tag says fold apart sun, but it's actually quite shade tolerant. It may not grow as big or be as prolific of a bloomer, but it's a beautiful accent plant and it adds a really beautiful texture to arrangements. And then we've got a sweet potato vine called Raven, Sweet Caroline, Raven. And this one is also more shade tolerant, brings amazing depth. And when you look at it compared to that, look at that. Look at that beautiful contrast. Like you don't even need blooms when you've got leaves that are this interesting. And then I do have this double up white begonia, which I'm unsure if I'm going to use it yet. They're gorgeous. I'll probably use it because they're too pretty not to use. So I've got some soil. I've got to top these pots up, and then we're going to add in a little bit of biotone and get them all planted. Also, I forgot, we are going to do a little bit of in-ground planting right over here. We've got some Velveteen Coleus. I always save this section right here for some type of Coleus. It's different every year. I used, was it Ridiculous, Marooned before that. Have I done Wicked Witch here? Probably. So I thought Velveteen would be a really fun choice. It's got deep burgundy color with a pink stripe kind of down the center. And then it's got a really pretty chartreuse detail right around the margin of the leaf there. And the leaves are a little bit smaller on this one than some of the other varieties that I have used. But anyway, Coleus tends to really like this area, and then I typically come in later and plant something right along the edge. So we'll get that done after the pots. This area is going to be so pretty. I cannot wait to see what it looks like once it's grown up a little bit. And I don't know if you guys can hear or see, but my mom stopped by. She's out there playing with Benjamin in the grass. So Velveteen is part of the Color Blaze series, which means it can take sun or shade or anything in between, which is perfect for this space. Because if you look above, you can see a locust tree, which provides filtered light in the morning. It's never in like complete shade in the morning, but quite a bit. And then it gets like late morning through mid to late afternoon, full sun. This whole little pocket right here gets that until the sun goes behind the Norway maple, and then it's protected again like sometime in the evening. So it really gets a wide range of light, and this Coleus can handle it. It actually performs really well in a bright sunny area. 24 to 34 inches tall. I mean, it's going to be really gorgeous. You space them out about 12 to 16 inches, which is what I've done here. Now, some of these look a little sad toward the back. We had a little accident. One of the flats got dropped. So they're not dry. They'll recuperate. They're just a little bit kind of irritated at the situation for a little while. Anyway, so we'll come along later and do some annuals right in the front, but for now, that's going to be awesome. We have an anemone in the back, which is like a light pink, and then we've got Midnight Masquerade penstemon. I just want to say penstemon that shoots up beautiful kind of light lavender white blooms, and the bloom stalks, even after they're done blooming, are really beautiful. Then of course the Boxwood Hedges here, and these arrangements right here I absolutely love. Now I haven't watered them yet, so I need to clean off the container when I water. I did see that caladiums are only hardy to 40, which means since we're going to have that cold night, couple of cold nights, we'll just pop them in the back shade porch on those nights, which is kind of a pain. Like, if you can wait until it warms up for something like this especially, it's probably best. It's less maintenance for you anyway, but we will do that to make sure that they stay happy. But I think they'll be happy in terms of light and all of that back here, and they'll look especially beautiful once we have a walkway finished right here. And that is going to do it for projects today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's super exciting to be doing containers again and filling up all of the spaces with pretty color and pretty plants. And we've got a whole bunch of beautiful things we just got this morning that are in the greenhouse. Can't wait to show you. Anyway, see you guys in the next video. Bye.